The last question you've heard was intentionally general, designed to draw the picture in broad brushstrokes. English speakers, of course, just as any other language community, are not an unvarying monolith of people. They have different interests, dreams, and aspirations. And the next two questions address that. Hopefully, you'll be able to identify at least to some degree to one of the cases we chose to consider. The first case is the following. You are an English speaker that only knows English. You aspire to become a prominent politician. Which language would you learn first and why?
Prominent politician? Wow, that is a really good question. Because I can't factor out the problem with, for example, Russia and China. They are authoritarian regimes. It doesn't matter how good a politician you are, you're faced with very difficult things here. So I would definitely go for a language that represents the biggest number of people, definitely, and a nation that is involved in international politics, that is flexible and that can be negotiated with. So you can do the maths. It's kind of easy. So it's going to be France, Germany, and of course, South American languages. Countries like that, big countries that have got a proper democratic ground, I would think. But can you see that my choices are guided by culture and by political content? They are not based on the structure of language. I couldn't care less. This is completely uninteresting. I'm not interested in how the language differ in their complexity or structure, because you can cope with that. Our brain can cope with that, and you will learn a lot of things, whichever scenario you engage with.
Prominent politician. Would we call American a language? Gosh, if I had to, as a politician, I would probably go for something. I would go for a European language, I think. I'd probably go for German or French. One of those, I think. Yeah.
What would be the reasoning?
Because I think there is so again, from a political point of view, I think I'll be able then to use a great depth of history.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be a politician. So, again, being very pragmatic here. And I think there is a great depth of history from those, a great depth to those languages. It's rich.
None. Look, Boris Johnson knows languages. We know it for sure. But he takes care not to use them because he is using nationalism to achieve Brexit and to legitimize his power. So if you want to be a good populist, you wouldn't learn any. Obviously, if you are Prime Minister of Canada and you have two official languages, you have to master both because you would not be eligible for the position.
Okay, if I want to limit myself to Europe, I would choose French or German. French. I go for French. If I want to go for the world, it would be either Spanish or, again, Mandarin.
I guess that's a hard one to answer because geopolitically, you'd have to know what area you were focused on. I mean, if you had a new world focus, I would say Spanish. If you're looking at trying to resolve intractable, centuries old problems, I maybe would go with Arabic. Again, Chinese and Russian for nuclear powers. Hindi, of course, because you have an enormous number of people you could interact with. So that's a really hard question. And I think is specific to what the purpose of knowing that language would be.